Okay, so let's solve this question under IAS 38, Intangible Asset. Nyame Limited incurred the following expenditure during the year. License to operate in the business sector for 10 years from 1st January 2017 is 400,000. Cost incurred in planning a website for a new product is 40,000. Purchase of 300 personal computer on July 2017, which has 3 years useful life. The total cost is the cost of the 300 PC is 480,000. Windows operating system for each unit is 60,000. Microsoft Office software for each unit is 48,000, giving us a total of 588,000. Then there is an induction training for new staff, which is 30,000. So Nyame Limited owns the right to a popular range of books, which is purchased from another entity for 180,000 a few years ago. The rights were not amortized as they have been seen attributable to an indefinite useful life. The books are still very popular, so no impairment losses have been necessary, and it was valued by an independent valuer at 280,000 at the year end 31st December 2017. The company's policy is to use the revaluation model. Intangible assets where market value is available and permitted. Required. Recommend with suitable calculation the carrying amount of intangible assets at the end of the year 31st December 2017, according to the guidance in IAS 38, Intangible Asset.
So now let's go straight into the solution. So the license, so we are going to use the 400,000, but because it's an intangible asset where we have to amortize, we determine the amortization for the period, then we deduct from the cost, and that gives us what our carrying amount. Now the cost of website, it's even planning the website. So we have under IAS 38, we said there is planning and what development costs, or let me say research and development. Okay. So all expenses incurred under the planning or the research are treated as an expense. Then the development is treated as what is being capitalized. In a case where you cannot separate them, then most likely you may treat everything as what? As an expense. Now, when it comes to the computer or the PC, this is outside the scope of IAS 38. The computer, the PC, you can see, you can touch it. So that's IAS 16, tangible asset. So it is something that needs to be capitalized, but it's not going to be capitalized under IAS 38. If you look at the requirements, we are looking at under what? IAS 38. Please, are you following? So you might be right too, but you may be wrong applying the standard. If you say we should capitalize it, yes, but should it be capitalized under IAS 38? No. Please, are we following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Then when it comes to the operating system also falls outside the scope of IAS 38. Operating system is part of IAS 16. You know why? When you buy a PC, without operating system, it's not going to work. So PC cannot stand alone without operating system. So they are like a boom, right? So whether you want to use Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows XP, which is no longer in the system, Windows XP, Windows 8, Windows Vista, you have to. It has to be part of what the PC. The PC cannot be a standalone without the operating system. So that will also fall outside the scope of what IAS 38. But here we have Microsoft Office. Microsoft Office, people assume that Microsoft Office also comes pre-installed. But the truth is that Microsoft Office doesn't come pre-installed. Mostly, where you buy your computer, it's just like an add-on services, right? So the whole thing started as a marketing strategy where you buy the computer from them, and they have some pre-installed softwares for you. Now, almost everyone uses Microsoft Office Suite. So Word, PowerPoint, Publisher, Microsoft Access, and all this stuff. But original, like when you buy a computer and you do the operating system installation, that ends it. It doesn't come pre-installed with Microsoft Office, right? So you now have to buy the rights. I think it's now that they are trying to make it a little bit free, and also because of a lot of hackers and programmers around, they are able to find themselves way around those things. But initially, you have to buy.
So, sir.
Yeah.
Intangible assets are the one that we should be capitalizing, right?
Yes, because of the question given, the requirement is saying that recommend with suitable calculation the carrying amount of intangible assets.
Okay.
Intangible assets.
Thank
At
you.
the end of the year, 31st December 2017, accordance with guidance from what? IAS 38, intangible assets. So if not for the requirement stating intangible assets and the standard is saying that which one should be capitalized, then we will have to do separate. So we tell them that under IAS 38, we have to capitalize A, B, C. IAS 16, you have to bring in the PC with its operating system. You get it?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Then the training, induction training for new staff. Training is an expense, straight an expense. I think it should even be paragraph 69 of IAS 38. If you read the standard itself, it mentions training explicitly. Bam. Should be treated as an expense. Yeah, I think paragraph 69. Then the book range. So the book range, here's the catch. The catch is that we are going to use the cost because there is a condition. The condition states that, let me come here before I talk about the condition. The company's policy is to use what? The revaluation model for its intangible assets. Intangible assets for its market value, where market valuation is available and permitted. Okay. So we have the independent valuer opinion. So the independent valuer's figure, and we have the cost. But there is a catch here. Let me see if I have it in the. It should be somewhere here. Okay. So let's read this. Intangible assets may be carried at a revalued amount. So based on fair value less any subsequent amortization and impairment losses. Only if fair value can be determined by reference to an active market. So in the question, was there any reference to an active market? No. It was an independent valuer's figure, but was it in reference to any active market? No, the examiner didn't give us any figure. So it means we cannot use the revaluation or the revalued figure. We will use the cost. I think this is the question. Yeah.
Good luck.
So cannot be revalued as there is no active market.